What's up, gang? Welcome back to the channel. Let me just start off this video by saying I never interacted with PokeDean before. I never watched any of his content. I didn't even know he existed until, the tragic event where his house got broken into. And I would say probably like $250,000 to maybe $350,000 worth of Pokemon was stolen. Stealed isn't a word. Dumb. But yeah, like we'll just say 300 grand worth of Pokemon cards were stolen from his house. I want to say he was on vacation. I'm not 100% sure on that. But this video has been going around and a lot of people have been talking about it. So I figured just put my 2 cents in it. All right, guys, here's my once a video shameless plug. Shop my website, maxpacks.com. Get yourself some English and Japanese sealed product. We have tons of stuff. That's really the best way to support me because I don't have any other way to support me. I mean, join the Discord, smash that subscribe button, drop a comment, help the algorithm. That helps a ton too if you don't want to buy something. So yeah, if you could do that, that's fantastic. Helps me get monetized so I can start doing giveaways, all sorts of stuff like that. All right, guys, let's get back to the video. Here we go. It really sucks what happened, especially because a lot of those cards are, they're irreplaceable. Like, I have a card from one of my Discord members. I bought something from him and he signed it. Shout out Chew. You know who you are, Chew. I think that's the way you pronounce it. I don't know. Sorry if I mispronounced that, bro. But he like signed it and everything. So like, yeah, that has some sentimental value to me. And sure, somebody else, they might rip that in half or they might throw that away, but it has sentimental value to me. There's my childhood collection that I still have, or the first boxes I started investing in, which would have been Evolving Skies. If somebody destroyed those or they got destroyed or stole those, like, yeah, you can always buy another Evolving Skies booster box, but that's not going to be the first one I bought, or the first whatever singles, my Pokemon Center exclusive ETB promos in PSA 10. That's a little near and dear to my heart. I'm one of the only people that have as many as I have, and then I'm close to finishing the set. I'm sure he had stuff like that as well. And it's just sad to see. And a lot of that stuff's irreplaceable. And some of that stuff just has a lot of sentimental value. And I'm sure he had stuff from his childhood or whatever, because, he's a young guy, it looks like. I'm sure that probably took most of his life to accumulate. So, yeah, it just sucks to see that. It's sad to see that. And I feel for him. And if hopefully he can come back bigger, stronger, and better than before. But that might have retired me from the hobby, to be completely honest. That would put a lot of people out, but I'm really hoping and praying that he can bounce back from that. So with that being said, a lot of times something big and major like that has to happen for people to wake the fuck up and actually start taking things, a little serious. And so, all the YouTubers, all the big YouTubers and everything, they're sitting with thousands of dollars of product behind them, and that kind of puts a target on you, if you see what I'm saying. Like, hey, I recognize that. Hey, I know where stuff like that. Shady people exist. The internet's a scary place, believe me. So let's talk about a few ways to protect your collectibles, meaning your Pokemon cards, your sports cards, whatever it is. Number one, pew pew. We all got the Second Amendment. Why not use it? We're in America. The only thing I want to say there is make sure you train. Make sure you know how to handle it. Like, don't be stupid. Like, come on. It's not that hard. Common sense, really. But again, we're in America. Common sense ain't that common. But just be smart, So nothing, I don't really want to talk about that anymore. I think that's enough. So number two, personally, I don't like it. I am a big believer in that insurance is a scam. So number two is going to be insurance. Get collectibles insurance. I've heard so many nightmarish stories about, this is mostly through Facebook and card groups and stuff. Just so many nightmarish stories of people going, oh yeah, I've been paying for collectible insurance and we had a flood and all my cards got destroyed and they won't pay me anything. Or somebody stole this stuff and there's no payout, or they'll only pay out what I purchased it for, but I have to prove what I purchased it for, and I can't do that because I bought it at a card show with cash, or I bought it at a garage sale or whatever it might be. Well, that's part of why I say insurance is a scam, because they do everything they possibly can to not pay out. I have heard a couple other YouTubers say something like collector insurance or collects insurance or something like that. I have no idea. I've never looked into it. Apparently they do better, but just from what I've heard, make sure you have a list that tracks stuff. So that's a plug for Collector. I do have a Collector. I'm not sponsored by them by any means, and I'm not like a public figure or anything like that, so you can't see my stuff. I'd have to share it with you, and believe me, I'm not going to share it with you, so don't even try. Again, I truly believe insurance is a scam. They'll do anything to not pay out, but that's the only one that I've heard that's pretty decent. And make sure you have that list. Probably try to keep track of what your purchase price is. I don't know if Collector or Collects or whatever the insurance company is. I don't know if they will pay out for appreciation, but that's another reason to have a collector list and just keep it up to date and inventoried and all of that stuff, which I've been slacking. I really need to add my inventory in there, the new investments and stuff, just because I've been slacking with it, really. Number 3, I would really just say practice good internet safety. I mean, again, a lot of this stuff is just kind of common sense. So good internet safety, don't be like, hey, I'm at this address. Don't, if you're going on vacation, I mean, if you have a store, okay, hey, our orders are going to ship out in 10 days because we're on vacation. I can kind of see that. Like, I can kind of justify that, but for the most part, don't announce you're going on vacation. Don't, post your address everywhere. Don't take videos of your whole house, and don't take videos of the surroundings because people can easily pinpoint that, and just stuff like that. Don't show your license plate, stuff like that. Don't put that stuff on the internet, and try to keep different emails and passwords for your stores or how to get in your garage or your door or, just stuff like that, because people are weird and people do weird stuff. I also heard of a thing called Delete Me. Now I don't use it. From my understanding, Delete Me will basically like search your name and your information all throughout the internet, because I guess they're called data brokers or something like that. A lot of people sell your data, your information. Who really hasn't used like white pages and other stuff where you can literally just type in people's first and last name in like a city, and literally their whole family shows up, phone numbers, addresses, when they bought their house, literally everything. I mean, everybody's used that, right? I'm not weird. Am I weird? Everybody's used that. So from my understanding, Delete Me would pretty much scan through that stuff and request it be deleted on your behalf, or delete it somehow. I don't know. My understanding is that could also be kind of pricey, especially when you add more people to it. So just something to look into. My next would be get a P.O. box. So ship from a P.O. box, use that as your return mail. And if you're going to buy collections through the mail, use the P.O. box. Next, I am not an LLC yet. There's a couple things that need to fall into play first before I do that, but I need to burn it in my mind to not use my home address for my LLC, and you don't need to put your business name in, like, so I'm maxpacks.com. My LLC doesn't need to be called maxpacks.com. It could be like Jelly Donuts 69420 Giggity, and that's who holds maxpacks.com. At least that's my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just a young, dumb idiot who doesn't know anything. So the reason I say that is because if you get an LLC, that is public knowledge. And then, if it's at your home address, well, there's your home address. And if you're a Pokemon investor and, you're taking videos, you're a content creator, or people know you like these cards, or, if you vend at local shows, people can stalk you and follow you home. Again, people are weird. That's the point of this video. People are weird. Protect yourself. That is the whole point of this video. People are weird. Protect yourself. Just don't put yourself in the position for people to be able to find your home address. I think that's the moral of that point. The next one also kind of touches upon all the rest. Like, just don't trust people. Don't, if you just met somebody and you're like kind of buddies and they're like, oh, I'm into Pokemon, don't show them your whole collection. Don't bring them to your house to show them the whole collection. Be kind of reserved. I think this is a lot of people's issue. I have a little bit of this issue too, where it's like you really care about something, so you just want to tell people about it. You're like, oh, I want to talk about Pokemon. Oh, I want to talk about Pokemon investing. And I found myself doing that at some events where I'd be like talking to some people my age who, they're like, oh, I like to crack packs, or hey, I just bought this Pokemon card. And I'm like, yeah, have you ever thought about, like just keeping this stuff sealed? Like, look at this. And show them my collector. And they're like, yo, no way. Like, that's worth that. Oh, how old is that? And you start a whole conversation like that. And I have converted people into being sealed collectors because of that. Sealed investors / collectors, they still make a great artwork. ETBs especially are great display pieces with beautiful artworks. So just like, don't trust people. Don't just blab about things you really care about. I know it's hard. I know it is. I fall into that too, but just be a little more reserved. Not everybody has good intentions. Number 7, definitely invest in security cameras. I mean, Amazon literally has everything. Maybe a Ring camera or some shit like that. You can put the ADT signs in if they have that in your area. I'm sure they have something else if they don't. I would say that's usually a pretty good deterrent just right off the rip. I mean, you're kind of keeping the honest people out, but you're keeping the honest people honest at that point. Cameras will definitely help a little bit more. Big floodlights outside around your house. If somebody was planning on being, sketchy, doing some shit, illegal that they're not supposed to, as soon as you light them up, usually they just run away because they know they're caught. I would also say, you could always think about doing like reinforced doors and walls, and I mean, that's a little more serious. That's like way out there. I'm nowhere near that. I don't think most people watching my channel are either. Number 8, I would just say store your stuff at different locations. I believe Rudy has like 6 or 7 different locations to store all of his individual stuff. I don't know if it's, oh, this is all my One Piece, this is all my Pokemon, I don't know if he does it like that, or it's just like, okay, we have so much shit in here, we need to move in, we need a new location to get new shit. Oh, we need to get another, I don't know if that's how he does it or what, but just try to keep stuff separated, With that being said, with Rudy having those locations, like I said, I don't know how they're divvied up. I don't think anybody really truly does except for Rudy himself, but just keep stuff divvied up. For me personally, I might keep, PCETB promos with me. I'm actively trying to collect them. I like them. I like looking at them. So maybe I'll keep those on me, and I'll give my brother's sister's boyfriend's stepmother's cousin Evolving Skies booster boxes because they don't mean anything. We'll just say something like that. Or maybe you give your cousin's brother's nephew's step uncle's cousin's mother your Dragon's Frontiers just so they can hold on to it. It's not all together. Not only does that help in case of like theft, somebody breaking in, or maybe you showing somebody and they want to damage your stuff, but in case of a fire or a flood or anything like that, it's not all at the same place. You don't lose everything all at once. That would be my biggest thing, like a fire or a flood. I mean, even if they have a fire or a flood at their place, again, you still don't lose everything. Just food for thought. I know we're kind of talking about robberies because that's the big thing, but just food for thought. So that's all I got for you guys. Let me know if you think about anything else. Drop a comment below. Let me know what I missed, or maybe give me an idea what you do or whatever. That's all I got for you guys, though. Appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. This is Joe, dipping out.